we're going to talk about mountain lions.
Yeah.
And the state of mountain lions in our neighborhood here. So there's a lot going on, if you didn't know, with the mountain lion populations here, and especially over in the Boulder Mountain Hunting District. And so we'll get to hear a little bit about that as well. And so what we can do here.
If it'll work for you.
It'll work. It'll work. We'll make it work.
We'll find out. I'm good at breaking technology even from like far away. While he's queuing this up, I have swag for those people who are brave enough to answer questions. Normally I do this presentation for kids, and I normally chuck Jolly Ranchers across the room. Stickers don't fly as well, so I'm just going to hand them off and hopefully... It would? Noted. Bring Jolly Ranchers. Stickers work. Cool.
Awesome. Oops, we got to go back.
You got to go back.
Can I air back?
There you go.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
So, my name is Denise Peterson, and you can really just go to the next slide, although I will just sit and stare at these two forever. So, if you want to go to the next slide, that's great. I'm the founder and director of Utah Mountain Lion Conservation, and I've been working with mountain lions for over 10 years now, and on 2 different continents. I've worked in the research realm. I've worked on collar studies with DWR and The Ohio State University. But my love is film, first and foremost. My background is in film. And then I took a few years off from school and worked on a research boat in Michigan and was doing like marine cinematography and loved it. It was cool, but then these guys started showing up. I'm like, oh my God, where are these guys coming from? They're cool. So I went back to school for wildlife biology and GIS and natural resources management and just followed these cats everywhere I could. I'm also a wildlife cinematographer, and I spend a lot of time working on movies about these cats, and I'm a collaborator for the Wildcat Imaging Project, which is a new organization that uses camera traps to tell conservation stories of cats. So,
cool. And
yeah.
Just so you guys know, the Wildcat Imaging Project is one of our past ones in S1E, so it's online. You can look at that.
Yeah.
The work that they've done.
Yeah, they're cool. And so this is our field team. I don't have pictures of the people who work behind the scenes on the social medias and the websites and everything. But on the far left, that's David and Tyson the mountain mutt. He is wonderful to have in the field. He thinks he helps, but he does not. He eats more poop than he finds. This is from a collar study we did with DWR a few years back, the Central Region Cougar study. And then this is Joshua. He was here last year. Yeah, I don't know if anybody here met him. He's great. He's running the GSE Cougar Project. So why do we do the work that we do? First question. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear mountain lion? Anybody for a sticker?
Conservation.
Okay. Family of lions or?
Oh, just like local mountain lions.
Right, but what sticker do you want? You answer the question.
Oh.
Pick a sticker. Here, I'll pick for you.
I'll take the more mountain lion one.
The family of lions? You'll get to meet them later.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, I'm not very good at standing still for presentations. But what else? Okay, conservation, what else? Like what do you think when you hear mountain lion?
Wilderness.
Scary wilderness. Somebody just hand out stickers for me. That way I'm not like going in.
Make it rain, right? Like,
Yeah. Who's that? Pass them around. I have more too, but you have to answer questions for them. But yeah, scary, terrifying. Oh my God, that thing's out there to eat me. What do I do? And so the main focus of UMLC, 1 is education, but 2, it's sharing their stories and talking about what these lions are actually like. I thought long ago about getting into the research field, but I'm like, there's a lot of way smarter people out there doing that. I just like getting out there tracking and filming these cats and sharing their stories. And the thinking is that hopefully we can change hearts and minds once people see what they're actually like. So, how do we film them? This is my arsenal. I have spent a lot of time in the field long lensing cats. I got very cold for a long time, and it was worth it. And you'll get to see some of the footage from long lensing these cats. But more often than not, I've got little research cameras like Get that guy over there, and these guys over here, and these are 8K cinema cameras. So first and foremost, and this is what you can maybe communicate to folks who take out in the field, is how do we find mountain lions in the first place? And so tracks, scrapes, scat, kills, those are all your go-tos. So, oh, this is a sticker question and I don't have the stickers. All right, you know, okay. So lion, or which one is the lion, which one is the coyote?
Left is lion, right is dog.
Cool, why?
Because the lion is more rounded and dogs are more ovular. Cats don't walk with their claws out and dogs do.
I like it.
Draw an X between pads.
Yep,
There's 3
Wait,
lobes
what's the
on the left, 2 lobes on
I'll show you. So yeah, lion is on the left, and then the canine, the coyote is on the right. Next one. And I'm condensing this down because I will go down a rabbit hole, believe me. So this is a lion paw from one of the cats that we collared a few years back, and you can really look at the shape. So you can see how the toes are asymmetrical, where with the canine they're kind of like even with one another in the center, so they don't have that asymmetry, they're more symmetrical. We talked about the X. With the canine, you can actually draw the X through the track, where with the mountain lion, you hit the heel pad. So it doesn't work. They've also got the 3 lobes at the bottom of the heel pad that are a lot more pronounced. And then size, we have to talk about this because you wouldn't believe how many times people reach out to me and they're like, I found this track, it was massive. It has to be lion. No, about 3.5 inches, 4 maybe. For a really big tom, 5. I should have put one of my tom tracks in there. He was actually a really good size. But I've seen a lot more dog tracks that were bigger than lion tracks. So size is not a go-to. I look at more of these indicators. Just the heel pad, the toes, the symmetry, everything like that. So, claw marks. Do you see them with lions or no? Ever?
Rarely.
Rarely. You do. This is your conventional beautiful lion track over here. I remember, like, every single track brings back these awesome memories. I've seen over 40 cats in the wild now, and every one of them I'm like, okay, that was a good story. But, so every once in a while you do see the claw marks in the substrate, snow, things like this. And so this cat, this was a picture taken actually down here, and this cat was moving really quickly through the substrate. So the claws were digging in a little bit more. This cat right here, she took me on a wild ride up some cliffs. So as she was pushing up, her claws extended out and she left some claw marks for us. So other things we look for, scrapes and scat. Scrapes are mountain lion's version of social media. So think Instagram, but cat world. And so we have video, we have lots of video that I'm going to share with you guys because I believe that by seeing these animals living their lives and doing their things, it's a lot more memorable than just looking at the pictures of what they leave behind. But scrapes are how they communicate, this is my turf, I'm looking for a mate. And it's a visual and olfactory communication method, so you can obviously see the scrape. And these are typically under, for me, because I'm up north, pine trees. Down here you'll find them under junipers and whatnot. Anywhere there's a good duff layer because it really holds on to that scent so you can see it. And they'll often urinate and defecate on these so you can actually smell it too. Next. My favorite is scat. I have no idea why, but like after doing this for so long, you'd think I'd get tired of it, but I don't. Like this one, I came across that thing and it was still almost warm and I just about lost it because it's just, I don't know, so much fun to come across that because you know that they were there. So I look for scat often because they'll often be at latrines, and the latrines are your gold mine for camera trapping. But so they're basically a couple, 2-3 inches, depending on how robust your male is, sometimes a little bit bigger or how well they ate. And then a good, I don't know, inch or so in diameter, and then they've got the blunt segmented ends. They're often laced with a lot of deer fur. Yeah.
Strangest thing you found in scat?
Does it have to be lion?
No.
So when I was working down in Peru, a jaguar left a really nice sample on the trail, and I found all the peccary toes, javelina peccary toes in there. I'm like, that had to hurt. But latrines are the gold mine. And if you can find them and show them to people, they're cool. Because what you'll do is you'll go under like this pine tree for me, junipers down here, even rock outcroppings will have them, but they'll have multiple scrapes and multiple scats, and it'll just look like they had a good old time in there. And that's your congregation point for cats. Scrapes are nice, but they're just passing through and they might come, well, they're gonna come back, but it's not as consistent. But latrines are where we set all of our cameras because they just produce the best results. So, I love this question. It trips everybody up. What do you do if you see a mountain lion?
Feel lucky.
I love that. Okay, but really, yes, but what else? Okay, what else? Before that?
Get your camera out.
It should already be out.
Be noisy, pick up your kids and dogs.
Before that. Before.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always singing when I'm out there, let's just be honest, because it's awesome. You read his body language. That's the thing we always forget, because our first default thought when we think mountain lion is do all the things because this thing is a threat and it's scary and oh my God. But no, I've been face to face. This is a cat I came face to face with a few years ago. And if you take the time to learn and understand what the mountain lion is telling you, then you interpret your response. So just seeing a cat doesn't mean it poses a threat. You can enjoy it if it just looks relaxed, it's just sitting out there, it's like, okay, I'm being a cat. But if it then crouches down and it fixates on you and that tail starts twitching, then that's the make yourself big, yell, please God, don't pick up your phone. Just don't film it. It distracts you from the cat, and at that point you want to give the cat all of your attention. So, next slide. So in this situation, what do you think this cat's telling us?
Stay away.
Yeah.
Is that cat on the ground?
Yeah. Yep.
Cat would say could be in a tree. It's usually
She was in really dense vegetation because she had a litter of 3 beautiful, lovely kittens. And so I ran into her when I was doing a den site check for a lion study that we worked on. And we suspected she had a litter, and we needed to go in and verify. And so she was telling me basically, I see you as a threat, back off and give my kids space. This is not a situation where I felt scared. And maybe it's because I've been working for them too long and my brain's broken now. But I talked to her because lions are pretty receptive, just like any cat, to what kind of energy you're putting out there. And I told her, Mom, I see you. I'm going to back off now. So I backed off, gave her space, because with all wildlife, you want to give them space anytime. And just sat on the hillside and watched as she went back to her kids and just did her own thing. And it was actually a really cool experience. So knowing how to interpret what the cat is telling you first and foremost is really important. Because just seeing a lion doesn't mean it's out there and it poses a threat. Let's see if our videos work. All right, so can you play this one?
Yeah, I think so.
Scoot your mouse all the way to the right, and it'll
If
keep going to the right, and it'll bounce. Okay.
Sorry. He didn't get the warning that there are metric ton of videos in here. Yeah.
Found me.
Okay. So this cat right here I sat with for about 3 hours one day. There's a little pop-up thingy over here, but it's over there. It's right here. Oh, there's no volume on this one. You'll know the ones. I think you can close that though. Anyway, that body language, is that an aggressive cat or a relaxed cat or? Yeah.
So did the cat see you?
Oh, no. Well, maybe. I was sitting directly across the canyon from her on an opposite hillside. Yeah.
Cool.
And so the fun thing about her is I was sitting like this on a trail with my scope, just watching her. And I had runners going by me, and they had no idea she was there. Finally, someone stopped and asked me, they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm looking at a mountain lion." 3 hours, no one knew. Finally, someone stopped and asked, and I showed them, and they're like, "That's the coolest thing ever." So they're around us a lot, and they really give us a lot of space. I should just, you could hit the next. I've never had a button pusher before. Normally I'm pushing the buttons, so.
I'm the best button pusher.
Do I have to push the buttons?
Oh, no.
You should just use, yeah, now hit the arrow one more time.
Yeah, hang on.
So,
Saunders just stay there.
sorry, I made this way more complicated than I should have. Next, yep, hit it one more time. It should go.
It's not tapping properly.
It will when the video stops. So you have to watch her one more time. Okay, now hit it. There, okay. Okay, cool. So part of our job with the study was we were going into active kill sites all of the time, putting cameras on kills to figure out who's scavenging, how are lions interacting, are they sharing kills? And you can play this one. This was right after we went in and set cameras on a kill site where I had a mom and 2 yearlings. There we go. Can you see the cat going up the hillside? Lazy, relaxed, and lions are really aware of their surroundings. They knew we were there. And so the fun part was my partner is right here. Right here. And so the first cat goes by, and like, there are 2 more. Maybe we'll see more cats. So I radioed him and told him to get his camera out. So I'm like, there's a lion coming your way. You can go to the next one. Yep. And so shortly thereafter, Mom, and in that moment, I'm like, I have to get vertical too for social media because that's important apparently. So Mom comes sauntering up right after Junior. And again, this body language, is there any kind of aggression? This cat knows we're there. No. So it's just important to realize these cats are around us all the time. They're paying attention to our surroundings. You can do the next one. Because where's the little thing? They're around us all the time, and that's why it's important to talk to people just to be aware of their surroundings. Who's seen this clip? Yeah, do it. I left the volume off.
Okay.
I figured it was smarter that way. So does anyone know the backstory of what happened with this cat?
Yep.
Yeah.
He was messing with her baby.
Exactly.
Don't mess with the baby.
You do not mess with the babies.
He found it then?
No, they were down by the trail and
Yeah.
went up there and thought that they were like abandoned, and Mama was not that far away. So.
Yeah, they were on the move. Mom saw this kid as a threat, and she was trying to put space between the threat, us, him, and her babies. So this was not an I want to attack you. This was not a stalk. This was I need space. And so this is one of those moments where it's like, just don't take your phone out. I met up with Kyle after all of this and put cameras up here and film these cats. But it's just one of those things where if you run into an encounter like this, just really give the cat your attention and focus on that. This whole situation probably could have been wound down or de-escalated quickly if you would have just tossed a rock at her, gave her attention, and just backed up and got out of there. But the phone prolonged it, unfortunately.
Where was it?
That was Slate Canyon. Yeah.
You need to add the parody video.
I already had 40-some slides. I'm like, I gotta tone it down a little bit. People don't want to listen to me talk about lions for 10 hours.
Some of us do.
That's fair. But so I've seen a lot of cats in the wild now. And every moment has been special. And every story, again, the whole 10-hour things. I could talk all day about lions. But I just like to drive home the point that they're out there. They're around us all the time. I have trail cameras, and we're going to see some of the trail camera footage because we have to talk about the cats themselves. But I have trail camera footage where the lion's just sitting there, and some are way out there, and some are really close to people. And you see people going by the trees that they're at. And the cat's just like, okay, you do you, human. And then it goes out and crosses. So they're out there all the time, and they do an amazing job of coexisting with us, and we can do our part to just try and understand them a little bit better. And that's why we do the work that we do, because there's a lot of misunderstandings about them. So go ahead and do the next slide. So this is one of my favorite things to just share with people is, you know, we spend a lot of time filming these cats, talking about their stories and just getting to know the individuals. But then being able to share them with people and just help them understand what a lion is actually like, because most of the time their only exposure is through the media when something bad happens. So we're gonna, and I hope the audio works, because this is where the audio starts.
Tell me when.
Yeah, so we're gonna start before the kittens are born, and we're gonna lead up to later in life. So this cat right here is making a very unique vocalization. Let's see if it works. I can't hear it. It's starting to go up. You can kind of hear it. Oh, there it goes.
Cool.
Cool.
We try again.
Yeah, try it again.
Okay.
Wait. So she is caterwauling. And so what she's basically doing at this point in time is saying, I'm looking for a mate.
Oh.
And they are very, very, very noisy when they're out there looking. She is a younger cat, and the stories I could tell you about her are a little crazy. And we will talk about her a little bit more and what happened to her. But yeah, she is a younger cat. I figure maybe 3-ish. Yeah, so she was looking for a mate in this clip, and that's a caterwaul.
What season do they typically, are they using like this?
They'll mate year round. Yeah, there is a birth pulse in the spring, but they'll mate year round.
Hit it, or keep going?
You can play it, because I will try to be cognizant of time.
You just don't tell me when.
Okay, cool. So this is another female, not that same one, and a male that I filmed back in 2018. And this female actually filmed her as a kitten with her mom, and then after she left her mom for 2 whole litters. And this is the first time she mated with this male here. But you can hear how like vocal she is, because she really wants to mate, and the females can be very insistent, where the males are a little bit more lax about the whole thing. But they do spend about a week together, and they'll travel together during that time, and they'll mate multiple times.
What's that? You know, there's a kid.
Oh my God.
Have you watched?
Oh, you'll see. I love my lions, but they're also kind of nightmares to film. But you can hear all the little vocalizations, and they're very, 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 very chatty. And like I said, I've been doing this for over a decade with them now. And one of my volunteers did a camera check for us on, yeah, he did a camera check for me on the 16th of this month, and he pulled some clips and he sent them to me, and I'm like, shit, I have been doing this for a long time, and I have never heard that vocalization before. So they are always catching us with something new. Next one. So this is another female, and this is an actual courtship, and you'll get to hear a little bit more of what it sounds like when they're mating. But what I want to point out in this clip, more than how crazy she is, and I can't play this clip at the house because it drives my cats nuts, but mountain lions are sexually dimorphic. Anyone want to guess what that means?
Male and female look different.
Different what? Different.
Oh, sorry, I just...
Well, they are different. They're different, but males are bigger than females. Yeah. So go ahead and play this one. And you can see the size difference. And so it's not a foolproof method. Most of the time when you're IDing the sex of a cat as it's going by your camera, you want to go look at the backside. But if you do this for a while, you can get a pretty good sense if a cat's a male or a female too, just by looking at the head size.
So the one that's in the foreground is a female?
Yes.
And she's already had a litter, correct? Because she's got like she's kind of loose in the tummy area?
She has not yet.
She hasn't?
No. I mean, she did after this, and the family of lion stickers, wherever those ended up, those are her kids. So this is that other female from the first clip, and this is the same male. And so mountain lions are not monogamous by any stretch of the imagination. So these two mated about a month apart, basically. And this is a cute vocalization.
Is this your same camera placement?
Yeah,
Location?
same location, different angle. Yep, different female. And this is at a latrine, and you could see how that male up there was scraping. That's what they leave behind, and I could always tell when that cat went through because he left these absolutely monstrous trenches. So cats being cats, I almost caught a successful mating on camera, but go ahead. Just be glad you're not a lion. It is playing. He's just watching her.
Oh, wow. No.
Can we get the audio louder? It's so quiet. Because we'll want it loud for the movie trailer at the end.
I got it 100%.
What?
All right, guys.
Okay, even on the computer, it's all the way up?
Volume knob and an external speaker.
Oh yeah, that's right. Hit and then it goes up.
Okay.
Unless my text. Yeah, it just shows up here.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. This one.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So you think that they saw the camera and got out of the way of the camera?
No, I think they're just cats. And as a cat mom of 6, I have opinions about cats. So that male, he was older. Oh, these guys are like a week or two old. A week or two. A week or two. So you remember the picture of the mom who was very upset with me for being there? These are her kids. And so they're born with spots. Can anyone guess why? Yeah, perfect. Yeah, these guys are very vulnerable to predators at that age. And so it's a mechanism to stay safe and stay hidden. And so as they get older, a couple, 2-3 months old, they'll start traveling with mom. And their spots will start to fade as they get older. So these kittens, and I call them kids a lot because I spend a lot of time with them. So these kittens have bright blue eyes that will eventually transition to a rich gold, and then their spots will eventually fade as they get older, and they're mostly gone by the time they're a year old.
A year?
Yeah. I know, right? Perfect. All right, next.
Sure.
And so
What's a collar cat?
this is one of our study cats, and this was one of our kill site checks that we did. And we got in there with plenty of time, and as I was going in here, I actually saw mom run out, which was really cool. But this is her and her 2 kittens. One's a male and one's a female, and I love this clip because you can hear all of the different types of vocalizations. Hopefully. So that's a chirp right there. You hear this guy spit and hiss back there. He was very, very, very defensive of the food while his little sister just wanted to play all the time.
And he's the same age.
Yes, same age. Same age. He had a lot of attitude. And that's the thing about lions is they're all very, very individualistic. So we can say things that are generally true about lions, but each of them all has like their own different personalities, and they're really fun to get to know. And so bath time is important. They're cats. Cats like being clean. Go ahead.
Does a lion have a certain range that we know of, so many miles? That might be their territory.
Absolutely, absolutely. So females will overlap territories quite a bit, which is what we saw. And so those range, like from what we're seeing, and this is where like the research side of it's more important, but like the females ranges can be like 60 to 100 square miles. Males are bigger than that. And males typically don't overlap as much as females. But it's been interesting through our cameras, we've documented multiple males in an area, but they're still.
Does it matter what kind of terrain? I mean, if you're
I haven't noticed that.
forest versus dry.
Yeah. I think that's more of a density question. So like up north by us, just the type of habitat that we have, the amount of resources, deer, water, shelter, everything like that is better for lions, so they occur at a higher density. Whereas in an area like down here, they don't have as many resources available to them, so they occur at a lower density, so their territories might actually be a lot larger down here.
So this is like actually a kitten playing with somebody else's tail.
This is a kitten playing. This is a kitten playing with Dinner's tail. That's a deer.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
A deer tail? Oh, it must be. Is that?
It's just a very tiny kitten.
Oh.
Yeah.
Big deer tail.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just a. That thing's maybe this big, but they're very, very playful. And the thing to remember about that is that doesn't stop with age. So I have to intro this clip. Pause it. Pick it up.
I'll go back.
It's okay.
You can do this.
And so this is a mom, and the cat, her mom's name is Seneca, the little kitten right here. She's almost a year old in this video. Her name is Little Sister, and Nick is around here somewhere, and that's the Family Alliance sticker. But so we run Browning cameras, which is this little guy right here. But we also run film cameras because we're shooting a documentary about lions that is going to be in the theaters in 2027. And so with those cameras, you don't have a PIR sensor that an animal trips just by walking in front of it, just like that picks up its movements. These cameras have beam brake triggers, so it's like a tripwire and they have to walk through it in order to set the cameras off. Now you can play it.
Okay.
This little kitten decided to take off with one of the triggers. And so this is her and mom deciding that they want to have a good time with our camera equipment. And you can actually see one of the cameras in the background behind mom. But we could, they got a little bit older and they're less playful now. But we would go into the camera sites and we'd look around and we're like, they were here. Like cameras were tipped over and microphones were ripped off and lights were like pointing up. I'm like, what happened? So they're very playful. This is something that sticks around for a long time that I think people would really be interested to know about. If you go to the next one. This is actually two adult, mature females playing together. We suspect they were probably litter mates or there's some sort of relationship. I don't know, I don't test, I just tell their stories. I let them live out their lives and I just show people this. But we suspect that these two are related somehow.
Yeah, they were talking about like some of this new footage that everybody has that's not just collar related, but it's this high-tech camera stuff that you have.
Yeah.
We always thought that lions were really territorial, like they never interacted.
Yeah.
But actually, certain females will let other females into
Yeah.
feeding areas, and possibly because they were litter mates or related somehow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like our new trail camera footage, the one with the new vocalization that I'd never heard before. It was two mature females at that tree, just hanging out. I'm like, okay, they're related somehow.
Are they drawn at all to the smell of rubber or plastic like some bears are?
I don't know if it's a smell thing. I think that they see the IR turn on the cameras. Yeah, but I know I would put money that these guys have actually seen me and smelled me. So the sticker that I was handing around, this is my family of lions. And so they'll stay together. The kids will disperse between 16 months and 2 years old. And so this was a really rainy day. And you can tell that mom is still very nurturing. Mom is actually in the back grooming little sister, and Nick is grooming mom in the foreground. But they have very tight-knit bonds that most people don't know about. Because they are, you know, when we talk about lions, we say that they're elusive and they're solitary, and they are to a certain extent. But they also interact a lot more than we once thought. And so this clip is right before this mom kicked off this kid. And so, again, dispersal, 18 months to 2 years old. That's how long they'll stay before mom kicks them off to look for another mate. And I wish the sound was louder on this one because you can hear all of the vocalizations and you can actually hear a thunderstorm in the background. But this is one of the last times we actually saw these two on camera together. And this is when mom was about to come back into season and kid was getting confused with what was going on. So.
What is the mortality rate of a young lion that gets kicked away?
So I don't have stats on that. Litter survival is on average 25%. But it also depends on area. There are so many different extenuating circumstances. If mom gets killed and a cat's orphaned, even at a year old, they're going to have a hard time surviving. There are a lot of things that work against kitten survival, unfortunately. But the two females that I said mated really close in proximity to one another, one of them had gotten caught in a trap. And so for some reason, trappers, for whatever reason, put the traps right in front of my camera, so I had to watch her step in the trap. And so she was impaired. She lived, which was great, but she lost a toe and a half, and we think it affected her ability to raise her young, so she only raised one kitten to adulthood. But this other mom, who had 3, ended up showing up with 4 after a while, so we think she adopted one of the other cats. And now she's down to 2, so it's really interesting. But as mountain lions take off, this is a younger cat just taking off, this is where they face most of their challenges because they're going out into the world, and they're trying to figure out their place, they're trying to figure out where an open territory is. And so they could come into conflict with another male, and something could happen to them there. But also at this age, they don't know where all of the resources are, and they're younger and they're less experienced, and sometimes they do come into conflict with people, unfortunately. But the lesson of this is the older cats, the ones that have established territories and they've learned the ins and the outs of where they're at, those are the cats that you want around. They know how to be good neighbors. And so this is a fun one. Younger cats are not experienced hunters, so they have to figure it out. And so they start small and they work their way up. And this is why we want a healthy age diversification on the landscape, because younger cats hunt smaller things like turkeys, skunks, porcupines, deer. And the older cats, like this guy here, would specialize on bigger animals like elk. So you have a healthy age structure and cats eating different things rather than a bunch of young cats who are better at eating deer. So that comes into play with management.
And hunting is a taught response to the cubs from the mother?
They learn from watching their mom, but sometimes they make mom really mad because they ruin a lot of her hunts too. But we've got a lot of cats napping. They're not that different from your domestic house cats. They love just sleeping and sleeping and sleeping and sleeping. This cat just sacked out there for hours. But he was a good old cat. We eventually lost him in 2024, unfortunately. But he was a fun one to observe. Very unique eyes, very unique build.
Lost him to?
We don't know.
Did he just not come back, or you found his carcass?
We didn't find this one's carcass.
He just hasn't been back?
He just hasn't been back. And the state of what's going on here in Utah is probably part of it. And so we've got some conservation challenges going on with lions, and this is the hard part of the work. But in 2020, HB 125 was signed into law, and this is when management started to shift in Utah. And so at that point in time, the law basically said that anytime big game numbers dip below a certain threshold, that DWR had to increase predator harvest. So more than 60% of the state went into unlimited. there were still permits, there were still bag limits, so each hunter could only take 2 each. 2023, and this is the one that really caused a lot of alarm because there was no opportunity for public feedback at all. This legislation was added at the last minute, and it stripped away basically any meaningful management for lions. So unlimited year-round hunting, trapping, snaring, no permits, no bag limits. You see a cat, you kill a cat. And so that's across the state. And so after that, that's when we really started seeing populations decline precipitously. I work up by Salt Lake a lot, where our cats were somewhat sheltered from everything that was going on. After that happened, I started seeing cats show up missing like whole halves of their paws. Like one of the cats I'd filmed since 2019, I had to watch her starve to death over the course of a winter because she had a pretty good wound on her foot. But that's when things really started to go downhill. And in December of 2025, we learned about an elimination study where they're hiring government hunters and trappers to come in and aggressively remove as many cats as they can from 6 hunt units across the state. And this affects down here. Moms, kittens, everything. And the goal is to increase deer populations. It also has to do with sheep introductions. But this study is supposed to run for a minimum of 3 years. And again, the concern, no opportunity for public feedback or anything like that. And so we have the GSE Cougar project that is going on down here. We're concerned about the future of that. Another thing that we're really stressing to people, because we're hearing about it a lot now in the course of our work, is there are traps and snares everywhere now. And so just when you're out with people, just let them know to be aware of their surroundings. We go out in the field with the dog. I bring snips so I can cut snares off if I have to, because snares kill fast. And so we would just recommend that people learn how to open foothold traps to get your dog out, and just keep snips on you to cut snares. Okay.
So you guys know that right in the middle is Boulder Mountain and Fish Lake, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those are the 2 hunt districts. And if you're in Escalante and you're driving through town, and you drive down Alfie Wash, you can look down and see one of the set snares. They're giant round snares.
Yep.
You're just sitting right there, and they bait it.
Yep.
So it's baited. And then, unfortunately, like most of our foot trap hunters that live in our area have a mandate to when they have to go and check their traps.
They don't do it.
They don't have to do.
Correct.
These guys don't even, these hired hunters and trappers don't have a mandate. So if you have a dog that gets stuck in one of these snares, it's staying there for days.
Yeah, exactly. And we've already seen that happen.
I was going to just say, don't take any traps or anything.
Yep.
Because that's illegal.
Exactly. Exactly.
I found a trap, Tilted Mesa, had washed down into one of the washes, had been set, a coyote, but a chewed off foot. And what I did was took a picture and the compass points and turned that into BLM, and then they went and got the trap.
Good.
And this was like a month ago, so they're setting traps right when people walk the dogs.
Yeah, and we've had people have dogs, because we work with houndsmen a lot. And that's the whole reason we found out about the study, is a hound dog got killed in these baited snares that were set out there. And they called DWR and they investigate, and they're like, oh yeah, we're doing this study and this is what this is.
Do they have the attrition rate, or do they know, or do they even care, of killing other animals with these, as opposed to what their target is?
Yeah.
Not that the target is good, but,
Right.
but what they're trying to preserve, are they really doing that?
That's a good question. We've requested more information on that, and we're waiting to hear back.
We hate the traps. I
Yeah.
mean,
But the snares have been out for.
Oh, yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
to go out and hunt is different than trapping.
Yeah, like, we're not anti-hunting at all. Just to be clear about it.
But, you seem to maim animals way
Yes.
more in the trap, where you could be more humane about something.
Yes.
With a different kind of weapon.
Exactly. Like we've talked about this before, like why not bring houndsmen out, give them opportunity, and then, you know, not have all these snares out there, which affects all of us, because like I'm off trail a lot. It's just a matter of time before my dog steps in the trap. So.
Or one of us.
Or one of us. So it's just important to be aware of.
Yeah.
So, You'll see the direct effects of one of these.
Go forward.
Yep.
Okay.
And so since all of these legislative changes happened, we've seen the populations decline pretty precipitously. So 2015 is probably the high point. Lion populations are really hard to estimate, but we had ballpark 2,000 to 2,700 lions in the state. And ever since the legislation, especially after 469, we've just watched their population drop precipitously. So the metric is, if you want to reduce a population, you want to have harvest over 40% female in the report. We're close to 65% females in the harvest report. And so as of December 2025, population estimate in the state high end was 1,079 cats. And that's before the hunting season and before the reports from the study. So big concerns with all of that, and then there's also $1,500 bounties in sheep units. So Utah is not a great state for lions, unfortunately. So we talked about tracking. What do you see, what do you think is wrong with this picture right here? Yeah. So this is the female that she lived, I'm glad, but we watched her step in the trap, and we've been filming for her for 1.5 years after that, but yeah, she's missing a toe. So it's hard to see, but it's important to be aware of so we can talk about these issues. So for a lot of reasons, you know, there's questions about ethics. It's not science-based management. We are all for science-based management. Let's get back to the point where we have limits in these different units that work for everybody. The concerns are no opportunity for public comment, puts our traditions and heritages in jeopardy. The other thing to remember is it increases our risk of conflicts with lions. So moms will spend probably 80+% of their life either pregnant or raising dependent young. If something happens to her, and a lot of the lions we've sat in blinds and filmed, moms will just leave their kids for a while and take off. If she's not nursing and she's not with her kids, how's someone going to know she has kittens? And so if she's gone, you have orphan kittens who can come into conflicts with people. Or like our injured cat here, she's injured, she can't hunt natural prey anymore. There's a chance for conflict there. We're also seeing chronic wasting disease, which affects deer herds, starting to spread ever since this heavy management started. And then also we talked about the risks with traps and snares across the state. So main issues there. If people want to help, contact your representatives. This has to be a legislative change. They make the policy, and they need to hear from us. They need to hear that we want to get back to a place of science-based management more than anything, and be respectful, and encourage anyone that you talk to about this to be respectful, because we can do more harm than good if we just come in there swinging. So reach out to your representatives. It's the biggest thing you can do, and just have conversations with people, because a lot of folks don't know this is even a thing. So just get the word out. We are always happy to do presentations. I will go anywhere, anytime. I will drop everything I'm doing to come out and talk. And then if people want talking points, background history, we've got all of that on utahmountainland.org/the issue. All right, next one. Now that we're through the heavy stuff.
Remember, that's state representatives.
Yes.
Not your federal representatives.
Yes.
Because it's the state government.
Yes. And so we've been filming this don't play it yet.
You tell me when.
So we've been filming American Lion for the last 4 years while all of this was going on. So this actually spun off into a second documentary that talks specifically about what's going on with management issues in Utah. So we're shooting 2 films simultaneously. This one, if you guys can hear it, we are finishing shooting it this year, and then it's going to be in the theaters in 2027. So hopefully you can hear it.
Yeah, see.
Okay.
The mountain lion has
Is that
inspired
a bit?
fascination and wonder
Bits of
for
bird?
thousands of years. But only within the last few decades have we begun to understand the complexity of their mysterious lives. They are a symbol of our remaining wild places.
It's on a timer.
Oh,
And roam across vast territories. Their tight bonds can last a lifetime. And the mothers must overcome extreme hardships to provide for their families. For the very first time, witness their extraordinary lives, from kitten to apex predator.
Did you get all that content, Denise?
not all of it. I did all of the Utah stuff, and most of it is in Utah, so I'd say 70% of the film was shot in Utah. And then there's also teams in Texas and New Mexico. So we're hoping this will move the needle back in the right direction for conservation, and we're really excited to get this one out there because lions need our help. So that's all I got. Any questions that we didn't get to?
I think you and Nate sort of answered this. Are there any areas in the Grand Staircase that there's a lot of known traps, areas to be specifically aware of and be careful about? And I don't know if I blinked. Do you have any images of what the traps look like, or what's the best way to spot them?
I've got pictures that I can actually send you. I didn't put them in this, but I've got them I can send you. But they're not releasing any location maps on them, so I have no idea where they're at.
Public, as we see them, maybe to
Yes.
send them your way if you come across.
I'm not going to do anything with them. Share them with the community
Yeah.
locally.
Yeah, I guess that's my big concern for so many of us who
Yeah.
walk dogs off trail and who just walk off trail and are not always looking at the ground.
Yes, I get that. I get that for sure. It is. It is. Talk to the Boulder community.
There's a trail here in town that has signs.
I've seen those.
On Cottonwood Road, trail by Bunting Trail.
Yeah.
There's, like I said, there's one in Alvey Wash. You can look up and see it actually from the road. And then if you go out Hole in the Rock Road, there's the first turnoff that you hit that's to your left-hand side. And you go out there, and then there's a bunch of cut junipers. There's an old water tank there. You're not supposed to park just one. There's signs up there from, these are hired trappers, remember? These trappers are paid for by the DNR. So
It'd be nice if there were signs, because we're not mountain lions.
I agree.
I agree with it,
But they're worried about people messing with traps, which, yeah. Yeah.
Question.
Sure.
From the time that this has become, maybe popular is not the appropriate word for trapping and that more in this period, have you noticed any behavioral patterns with mountain lions equating that with humans and being more aggressive towards humans?
I have not seen that at all. They generally avoid us.
Yeah, it's really rare.
They really do. I don't know if I told anybody this story here, but I was tracking a mountain lion a couple of years ago, 3 years ago now, and I broke my ankle on the mountain, and I literally had to crawl 1.5 miles off. And that cat was probably nearby, and she had no interest in eating me, and I figure it was probably because I was swearing too much, but they really don't view us as food. They just don't. And they are incredibly tolerant of people, and we continue to persecute them like we do, and yet they still really don't come after us. They don't think in terms of retaliation. Orphaning will happen, and then conflicts can come from that. Or injured animals get desperate and do dumb things. Things can come from that, but I haven't seen a mindset shift per se.
So the Escalante's got the science aspect of it, so you go to the field office, get your permit there. What is your relationship with other land managers, and what other cat studies are you aware of? And how do you guys is there a platform where you're all the cat studiers?
I wish there was. That would be nice. There's not really a platform per se. Joshua is our project on the Grand Staircase Cougar project. So he has a lot of connections with the researchers with active projects going on. I know Dr. Julie Young has one going on, and she's out of USU, but I don't know of any other ones outside of that.
So I heard Zion's got 3 cats collared right now.
Yeah, I've heard about that one. I think that's Julie's too.
Okay.
I think. I could be wrong. But we're putting together an event on May 17th. And we're having a panel of researchers. We've got Dr. Mark Elbrock coming out. He's one of the biggest puma biologists in North America. He's coming out. We're working on Julie Young. We're working on David Stoner. Then we have some houndsmen who are going to come out too and talk to people about what they're seeing out on the landscape, because they need to be heard. Like, these guys are front and center on dealing with this issue, so they're great. But we want to have an opportunity for people to come out and just ask questions and talk about it.
Nice.
So.
Where's the location of that?
It's in Salt Lake. Yeah.
Are you familiar with Eric York and his work in the Grand Canyon? I think he started doing the collaring program there.
Okay.
He passed away from the pneumonic plague.
I heard about him.
Yeah.
Okay, yep. Dang.
Just
Yep.
wondering if you're continuing that work or anything.
Not planning on it. If I can have it my way from here on out, it will be strictly non-invasive survey. I've done enough collar work. I have no qualms with it, but it's not something I want to do personally anymore. So.
Can you tell us how you guys do the non-invasive surveys?
When I did it with DWR, it was invasive.
Oh, will you tell us how you're doing it? Like, we know you're using the camera, but
Yeah.
maybe a little bit about the genetics.
So that's more of a Joshua thing with the GSE Cougar project.
Okay.
And so he has questions about like relatedness and whatnot out of the GSE. And so he wants to collect Scat. And so we're working with him on the visual side of things, the camera trapping. And
You guys aren't doing the Scat, the genetics?
we are still doing that, but he's overseeing that portion of it. So,
Cool.
yeah. Okay. Well, appreciate you guys. Thank you.